Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, August 26th, 2025. We'll go ahead and call the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. I'm Don Swanker, Chairman. To my right is Nen Flegel. To my left is Mike.
Morning.
We have Bjorn from IT, Lisa from the Auditor's Office, Luann in the back, the Executive Assistant, Brittany from the press. And first up is visitors and citizens. Do we have anybody? I see we got an extra online who's I see somebody online. Would you like to address the board today, or are you just listening? Evidently, maybe not even listening. So
yeah, I'm just listening.
Okay, welcome. Glad to have you aboard. And first up is Nathan Jones, the Jackson County Conservation Director, with the departmental update.
Yeah,
Good morning,
morning,
Nathan.
morning, guys. Hopefully I can keep you guys calm after a little fiery start with your morning. But that was mine.
Yeah,
Well,
recreation.
yeah, so we got a few things to update you on. Let's start on the Prairie Creek, the Destination Iowa project, just so you guys have a heads up what's going on. And I think last month when I was in here, these were done, but the pads have all been installed, baskets for disc golf. Seating's on us yet. We'll probably do that in the next few weeks. And some grading out there. So you'll see us, we'll probably have to rent a piece of equipment that's attached to our skid loader to smooth some of that out, is what I'm thinking. To get some of that done. It's already getting used quite a bit. I can't believe how many people are actually playing. I found like 14 discs already just walking around out there. So
Throw them in a basket.
yeah. Most people are smart enough to put their phone number on the back so we can call them back and give them say stop out at the center here.
That's awesome.
Charge them a little fee.
Yeah. So I'm impressed with that. I be honest, didn't expect that kind of use. So that helped, or
That's good.
it makes me feel more confident once this thing's done that it's going to get used. And we've had positive feedback so far on that. On the north end, Schrader, which his subcontractor, Inline, is up there doing some work on the north end for the trail right now. We got a few hiccups, and Jaden is luckily helping us with that. With just kind of, I don't know where the issue came from, if it was from our original engineer on elevations, the second engineer contract. But we're concerned about the elevation and where the base of the trail's at versus the drainage. After those rains last week, it was standing water for a week and a half or so out there, and I don't know, Ned probably drives by that a lot. And Jane pointed out, when they have to put that asphalt down, you back down that trail, it's gonna make waves and that asphalt's not gonna be flat. So Jane has been awesome. So I am thankful we have a really good secondary roads engineer right now, because he's helped me out a lot lately. I don't think I could have said that in the past.
Back through a door.
How much did you pay that guy?
I'm just gonna say,
No, I think the pay's gonna come next budget season.
yeah, but they have been helpful, and not just Jane.
Well, we appreciate that.
Everybody else in their office.
Just
Working through
just
the
a piggyback on that. What kind of equipment did you say you needed to rent?
We'll probably get I call them Harley rakes or something to smooth out that area, or it rolls
So like
out.
the front of a skid loader?
Yeah, we'll put it on the front of our skid loader.
Pulverizer.
Yeah, pulverizer, I think a lot of guys call them.
So,
We know where we might be able to get one of them, but ain't in use.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
question on the trail on the north side. I see where they're starting to put it along the road coming up to the bridge. And then I see it after the bridge dropped down into the bottom there. But it looks like the trail, I always assumed, and maybe that's my own idiot, I shouldn't have. I always thought they would just kind of go up on the bridge and cross, but it looks like the trail goes kind of down past the embankment. Yeah, are they putting a separate bridge in there?
Yes,
Wow.
the DOT is requiring us to have a bridge right there by the mill.
Walk bridge
Yeah, so
between the mill. and
it's gonna be fairly close, and Jaden probably's got a little more familiarity to
Attached
that.
to the other bridge. I mean,
It's like 15 or 20 foot offset from that bridge is what the DOT's. And it seemed kind of silly, some of the things, and they're making us make it so an ambulance can go across it and everything. Like, there's a bridge right there. Why are we? Those You've been around government long enough that you understand that some of these things can be frustrating, like why do we drive the cost up for something silly like that? So yeah, that's gonna have a bridge there right next to the mill.
Okay.
And it's tight to their property and the bridge, there's not a lot of room there.
Well,
So-
we had the fight for right away, or
Yeah.
we worked that out that time, yeah.
Yeah, we're good on right away on this project. The only other issue, so that the floodplain, we're seeing some issues with the drainage. And then I think, and I could see how we oversight this up towards Jacobson Drive, if you go up towards town. We're seeing a silt problem coming from the hillside, and there's like I don't know if they are surfacing of like sinkholes or something, but sand's washing out. And we didn't see that when we planned it, and we didn't really see it until he cleared that out, and you can see it now, right there. So, I don't know what our solution is there yet, but just so you guys know, we'll probably see some change orders expected in this project to try to fix some of these problems before it actually is totally made. So,
Retaining wall or something.
yeah, retaining an extra tube, I don't know, or just a spot where we can have a clean out ourselves, just let it settle before it hits on the trail. I don't.
Oh, even a retention type basin of some kind?
Yeah, that's maybe what we'll end up with, so.
That seems simple enough even to clean out periodically if we had to or something.
Yeah, just keep that sand and silt coming off the trail or onto the trail itself if we can, so. Those are minor, and I wish I could say we have a project that goes.
Yeah, well,
Plan for once, but
understand.
I don't think they ever do. So, that's moving along at least. And we'll figure these things out, going forward, and I don't know if Gene has anything to add to that part or not for me.
So yeah, we're working on. I'll just come up there.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can- Yeah,
We're working on getting a change order price for some stabilizing around, cause like Nate said, the trail, the top of the proposed asphalt trail is about the same height as the existing ground there. Well, they have to core out it's planned for 4 inches of asphalt and there's so much rock underneath there. Well, right now the asphalt's not there yet, so the whole trail's like a sump, so water's just sitting there, and so on paper, it may look like, well, you can get the trail. On paper, it works, but you gotta get, like Nate said, you gotta get the asphalt to the trail with that heavy. You're gonna have fully loaded tandem trucks of asphalt backing down that grade to a paver. That's gonna be enough weight itself. And then once that paver's full of asphalt, I mean, there's a lot of weight there. So you just gotta get the asphalt there. So we're getting a change order price for some stabilizing stone to kind of raise that trail up so it can be paved, because so like it dried out significantly from last Thursday till now. But asphalt's not ready to be put down now, so asphalt's at least a couple months out. Who knows what the weather is then? It's definitely gonna be cooler. You don't dry out near as fast, so just a constructability thing we're looking at there. So getting a change order price on that.
So we're still on time frame as far as whatever we need to do for the funding that we had in place.
yeah, I mean, it gets more stressful every day for me as we get closer and closer. As talking to Dan, he seems pretty confident that they're good.
Cause he's about 3 weeks out, it sounds like, from showing up.
Yeah.
His crews to start the bridge stuff, the driving pile.
I don't think it take them long. And the asphalt part won't go along once they actually get it graded, so. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. We have till the end of the year, but, it's.
I mean, is there a deadline that if you need to, when we're that close, that there's a possibility to file for extension, that we have to do that in a timely manner?
I think there is no extension possible for the Destination Iowa funds, the CAT funds there is. But my understanding, and Josh has kind of been more closely related with reporting on that part. He seems to think we will be fine if there's a few things that are hanging out there a little bit. Yeah, so, and we also need them to get to a spot where we can build the shelter ourselves too. We gotta have room and get that ready to go. And we'll probably buy that from the lumber yard, either here in town or I think they're one and the same, Bellevue and
Yeah.
Macokas. and get those materials and get that going. We're about 2 weeks out from those materials too, so. Yeah, I feel we're fine right now, but I just hope we don't go into a wet, rainy fall.
Are you guys gonna build a shelter or?
Yeah.
Say, call the Amish, they put up my neighbor's building in about a half a day.
All right. Yeah. We'll see where our change orders and some of these cost changes come, because we did fall short of our fundraising goal a little bit. We still have a few grants we're waiting to hear from. But we raised, I think, around 130,000 of the 200 for that. But part of that was for if we had change orders and that.
Yeah.
So we'll find out exactly where we lay some of that.
Okay.
On a positive note, and I don't have the exact same or date, one of the last 2 weekends of October, we're gonna do a ribbon cutting for the disc golf course of some sort out there. Maybe try to do something that ties to the water quality project and talk to people.
I know Aaron with the Water Management Authority, we talked about having our meeting maybe at the pavilion or something, kind of tie it together there because of
Okay.
the water quality project and
Yeah.
people have interest in it and stuff, so.
Yep, so those are going on. I am in a fight with the DNR floodplains currently too on some things down there within the water quality project. They don't agree with how we did a few things, and so we're trying
Don't
to.
have to be pre-approved.
Yeah, that,
It yes, even though people changed and all of a sudden, so like our water crossings and some of that stuff, we may have to get traders to pull them out after he's done with one of them and put it down to a different grade to make them happy. Couple of the cross veins they're complaining about because they're 6 inches higher than what they thought they should be and some of that stuff. So, had a lot of emails and several calls with them, and we're getting there. We're gaining some ground and traction with them for understanding. So we'll figure that out. But that portion I considered done, other than we did have with those 3-inch rains, we did have a washout in one of the step pool systems for the trail. So we got to get that fixed yet. So hopefully we can move some money from that project into fixing that too. So that's kind of those projects. And then I got one other thing we're gonna hit here, but first I want to let you know, camping season. If you get calls, our campground host at Spruce fell and fractured his back in several spots the other day, so we may not have a host at Spruce over the holiday weekend. So people call me and I'll try to run up and fix anything during the day or whatever,
Okay.
kind of thing.
Are you gonna, do you think about maybe posting somebody or having somebody go up and
We'll
be
have-
there limited hours?
We'll have set 2 rangers kind of trying to get throughout the county throughout the weekend too, so hopefully we'll cover it good enough. We won't have any issues, but there's always those gaps where maybe there might not be somebody there, so.
Yeah.
Well, we wish him or her, whoever is the best.
Yeah.
That don't sound too.
Yeah. So
Hope that wasn't on the job site.
no, so, and then the other thing, I guess, probably on your guys' mind, because it's been on my mind a lot, and Jaden's helped me, is our shop building budget.
And they'll have
Oh.
exhibits of it too.
Okay, so Jaden kind of put the our proposed shed for this year's on a layout and did the math and some of that stuff, and maybe Jaden can explain it more for the site up at the county farm.
So yeah, so Nate gave me his proposed and what a future storage building would be, and assuming those type of buildings are, for lack of better, just a slab on grade type of structure. For out the county farm, it would take a lot of fill. I don't know how well it's showing up on your guys' exhibits, but I show some rough proposed grading through there, because obviously your building pads are flat.
Mhm.
And between where the grain bins currently sit and there is a barn or shed of some sort just to the south of there is a slight drainage way, so we don't really want to interfere with that. So it's kind of dictating where to back up. Set the buildings there roughly or conceptually based on maintaining that drainage way between the grain bin and the barns, And also there's right of way out there and per the zoning, offices setbacks for A1.
So those gray rectangles are just,
So the gray is just kind of what, like
Parking.
parking or driveway
Okay.
surfacing.
it just automatically, your eyes are like, is this
Drawn
building
to
kind of thing?
So the gray,
Fine.
yep, so what you're seeing on those exhibits, the gray is essentially what would be gravel, driving lots, whatever. And then there are the two black rectangles
Yep,
to the west of that.
proportion.
Yep, that's where the two buildings would be.
How many loads of dirt are you thinking it would take to bring that to grade?
A lot. It's about 8 with this, and this is just conceptual, but 86, roughly 8,600 yards of fill, which assuming just say your average dump truck is about 12 yards, I mean, you're talking like 720-ish dump truck loads of dirt.
So we've also talked about design work as far as having storage under the building. So that means concrete poured, so we can go under, which would not take that much fill then.
Correct.
So
Yes.
then, I mean, we asked to get a cost figure difference from pouring, if you would, a footing and then pouring walls so you could drive under.
So essentially like
You
your
know,
whole,
that
it'd
would
be a
be our
whole
code.
cat garage underneath, or,
Yeah, so that's our cold storage, if you wanna call it, could be.
and I talked with Nate about that, because you are right, that would lessen the amount of earthwork. I just don't know, that'd be out of my expertise, how to design that type of building and what that building would cost, I guess. But I don't know, would it offset the amount of dirt? I don't know, but there's probably a trade-off somewhere. But this site would allow for that if that's something that conservation were to.
We'd probably have to hire a structural engineers, cause I'm not smart enough to know how to do that, and I've talked to several contractors probably, and they don't wanna touch it without plans, so. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would, but,
Yeah,
So we talked about different.
so,
Building manufacturers also
So
have
you can,
engineers that design this type of thing. And do that kind of stuff if you're talking about purchasing one of their buildings.
but we have to do a bid. How could we do that, Lisa, and meet the
Request for
state
proposal?
standards?
You're gonna have to RFP to, for the whole design work. Right? I mean, cause. Can't just go to the, well, I mean, I think we did, when it came to the building at the law enforcement center, I think the company did it for us. We paid for it, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this would be the same thing, but I don't know if they would do the underground work. I mean, obviously the building they would do, but I don't know if they would do that.
I don't know how that works. That's where I'm a little lost.
so basically, this page shows us if we're doing just a slab building, that this is a
Correct.
physically challenging location.
If we're doing a slab building. I
and
think
you're putting it back further than what we originally discussed.
we are a little bit because of the setbacks, and then also to get. Jaden laid it out so we could get our trailer, or like if we needed to get our gooseneck in. To work on it, or our, some of that equipment to turn it into the buildings.
So yeah, that red outline on that exhibit, that is the setbacks from whether it's the right of way or property line. And then
Setback for
For
a
the-
building, so you could
that's
move
for
that
the
building
building.
forward
The building
40
would-
feet.
That 40 feet.
You could,
unless the site, I guess, were to be fenced in, then I do believe wouldn't the fence have to follow? Wouldn't the fence have to be within the setbacks itself? Maybe that's more of
Are
a
we,
Becca question.
do we have a reason to fence that building in?
I think we'd want to if we're gonna be right next to that facility. But that's my opinion, I guess. The other thing, if you move it forward 40 feet, where's your parking? Are you parking in the right of way then?
Well, you're parking in that setback
Okay.
area,
Be parking in the
because you could, the extra setback is for the building.
Yeah,
You can park in there. That would just be similar to being your yard
okay,
type of
I mean,
deal.
you still
So you
got,
could
I
have
don't
that
see,
whole area in front of there all gravel.
I don't see a measurement on that, but it has to be close to 100 feet from. If you did move it ahead 40 feet, there has to be another 100 feet from the front of the building to the edge of the roadway.
See, I think the right of way,
Because I
if
see
I remember, is
40
about 60 foot from the center of the road through there.
To the blue line.
Yeah, 60 foot, yes, from the center to the blue line.
And then you got another 40 foot
Yeah.
above, and then you got another 40 foot. If you moved it at 40 foot, so you'd probably have 100 feet from there to, just like the driveway over to the south of there.
I mean, it would lessen the dirt work, that I won't argue at all, because it would. Only thing is, I don't, if conservation wants a gravel pad to the north of their future cold storage, so say the future, or say the cold storage building at some point comes to fruition and is there. There would be, if they would ever want any like gravel space to the north of that for parking. Some equipment or whatever the case may be, or just area to turn around, it's not gonna. The grades would not allow or to facilitate that. Cause it's, so these contours, it's at 4-to-1 tying back in, so.
Let me ask you this, Nathan, you're not interested in this site, is that what I'm hearing?
I think our board
Okay.
is not interested,
Okay, then that's, forget it.
but I wanted to at least do our due diligence, so you guys aren't.
I mean, my whole thing is that's property we already own, and I said
I
this at the
agree.
board meeting. You know, you're gonna go and shell out
I,
whatever for property.
I-
That's gonna take away from what you have for
yep,
building then.
so.
My big concern is timelines.
That's
About a
my
month ag-
concern,
A month ago, you said you'd like to have this bid out
I don't,
by
You
September.
can't even.
and it's not even,
I don't know if it's gonna be bid out by spring.
no, so. Our board is, this last meeting discussed, they go. We are willing to pull from the reserve fund for extra, if we need to. For the property. They kind of want, a couple of them are working with 3 different landowners right now, just to see if they can get a deal done on some land, that's the reason. In the near future, so, one of the landowners they want to work with, if we can, is a force thought. For the whole county, not just us, but if we can have a site that would work for us and secondary roads in the future when they build the shed. We'd get our shed built there, have the wells, septic in place for them to tie into. They'd have room to build in the future. That's one property that. If the landowner is agreeable to a price that, and the other ones connect to a park that's. Prairie Creek, that's gonna be our busy park now with a lot more work than I realized going down for this project and making me kind of second guess some of my thought processes in this world. But those are the kind of the main talking points. I have 2 board members that are kind of taking the lead in conversations with them. Trying to figure out how we purchase. I put together plans for send out once it's ready, we got something going, we can get out to contractors for a request for quote. Some of the things will need tweaked once we figure out where the site is and how it lays, and some of that stuff. That's kind of where our board is at from what I've got, and I guess I answered to them, so.
Okay.
That's what I'm at. This is here, and Jaden helped me,
There's been some discussions, like Nate said, with our, so previous to my time here. Our engineer's office at that time had worked up plans to redo where our current Macokota shop is. I mean, they paid a consultant to redesign the whole thing, because our Macokota space is in need of replacement. I mean, we can't, where our current mechanics are to fit a motor grader in there to work on, you can't walk around the front or the back when the door is closed. I mean, a grader takes up the entire shop bay. Our parts room is just not very ideal. It's time for an upgrade. So that's where it started getting some talks that if it were possible, like if they were looking for ground and we were, yes, could we join forces and build on, assuming they would need to be somewhere near Macokota, could we join forces to have one county yard that would work for both of our purposes, since in our department's probably the 2 that work more closely together than others, I guess. Really, so they spray for us. If they need help, like with Prairie Creek, I don't know, I just feel like there's multiple things we work together on, so I thought maybe that'd be talking point, I guess. So that's where some of this came about, but I don't know what your three's thought are on that. I know there needs to be more.
I mean,
It's a
you
great,
would rather do that than you build here and you build here and be spread all out. I mean,
And I know I'm a coconut shop, like that's gonna take a couple of years worth of budgeting, like that's just not gonna happen like that, but. You could get ground bought and where you can do the site layout where they can start building, and I don't know what their timeline or
would you
when,
guys cost share the wells and stuff, the
I don't
septic?
see why not.
Cause you know, if you're gonna tie into it or whatever, cause again, on his side especially, financing,
Mhm.
you know, funds are.
Yeah.
Premium, not saying yours ain't, but
Mhm.
it's just, they're a lot tighter. My big concern of trying to do a joint shop is time frame.
Yeah,
You know,
and
we talked about that a little bit. It's like, you know, are we 5 or 10 years out for a new shop? I don't think your building lasts 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Physically. I don't think you can make it. So that's where the problem is for me is ideally, yeah, absolutely. But
And if it can't work, I don't want our department to hold up anything that Nate has to do,
Yeah.
it's just.
that's why they're looking at several different options and several landowners to see. Cause
like this
Jake
joint
kinda
that
said
you're
for-
talking about, is there cost share in the land purchase or is conservation buying? the
at
land?
this point, I think we would, if it would fit his, we would sit down with you guys. And see how we can make the money work out the land purchase, if it fits his. We can't find a landowner willing to work with us that would fit both of ours. We need it for us, we just have to get a piece or something
Mhm.
to get it built on, but if one of these,
If it were a joint, it would not be fair to have conservation pay for the land, for all the land
Right.
costs, that's just not fair, so if it was a joint effort, yes, there'd be out of our budget for.
I think there's a lot of conversation to be had here.
Yep. Keep us informed.
so I think Jaden and me will keep conversating, we're in a seat, and maybe there's nobody willing. Jackson County isn't flat, there isn't a lot of Great Lane properties from. And Jaden has kind of given the radius of where they would want to be.
Mhm.
And then if we don't fit into that, I want to be next to a park. It makes sense to me, because if we get back with a seasonal hour early, they can go into the park and do something instead of just sitting around trying to find something in the shop to do. So those are things I've kind of been running through my head with
Okay.
that, so. Yeah, we'll keep you guys informed as we go, and try to figure it out, so. I was bothered me to even come up today, because I felt like I was gonna be step on feet.
No worries, man.
But,
Any other updates?
I don't have anything else for you, I think Jaden's up next.
Yep.
I got more stuff for you.
thank you, Nate.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tate.
First up on our agenda is a temporary construction easement, so we have an existing box culvert on 288th Avenue, which is, you all know better, as maybe there where the Barnstormers at, the Barnstormers Road, right off the Codfish. There's a box culvert that crosses underneath that road right near the entrance to the Barnstormers, and it is severely deteriorated. I think I might have sent you all pictures of it. It was brought to our attention a couple of years ago, and we budgeted. We first had to reach out to contractors on what if they could do a fix, and what is that fix if they can. Gotten that, so that's in our budget to get this for current fiscal year. It's budgeted. And for the work to proceed, we just need to, we can't access that culvert with our equipment, which will be our new track excavator too, by the way. We can't access down there without getting outside of the right of way onto private property first, because it is down in a hole. I mean, it's steep. I mean, the box culvert itself is, I think, over 10 feet tall, and there's a lot of fill on top of it yet. So we need to get onto private property, which I think I sent you all that exhibit to that kind of shows the area that we need to reach out to. Had the county attorney's office look over our temporary construction easement before we sent it out. So all the changes all the little minor stuff that need to be changed has been made for their recommendation. We sent it out to the property owner. They have signed and notarized this temporary construction easement. But so what it's basically allowing is us to get off the right of way onto their property. There needs to be a little bit of fence that needs to be removed so we can get down there. We will remove the fence. We will also put it back. We'll restore the area every time, but we just need to access our culvert. And so does the contractor that will do the concrete repair on that culvert
When are we talking about doing this work?
this fall.
After their season's over?
After our guys, like our maintenance.
No, the Barnstormers.
Oh, well, the road will be open. That's the reason for doing this fix. the road would not be closed.
Okay,
Cause otherwise, to repair or to replace that box culvert, yes, would entail tearing up the road and closing it, but this is leaving it open. We're just repairing it in place. They'll bring like a ready mix truck with concrete to pour down there. It's no different than when we fix our like bridge abutments underneath where they pump the ground. I mean, this isn't pumping, but there is a way to fix it, but the road will be open, I guess.
Okay. Oh, that, you know, as far as I can remember, yeah, that is a hole. I think somebody tried to do that with a tractor one time.
So to get down there to clean out the outlet, we'll take our back excavator along with the mulching head to work our way down there because it is brush.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's another reason why I'm glad we have it. But that is the whole backstory on this temporary construction easement. So with all that being said, since the property owner was assigned, county attorney's office, helped in typing this up. I appreciate their efforts, but our department recommends board signature or chair signature on this temporary construction easement.
I would make a motion to approve the temporary construction easement for 288th Avenue as presented.
I'd second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the temporary construction easement for the box culvert repair on 288th Avenue as presented. Any other discussion? And board chair signature. Correct? Correct. That was in yours.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next is a utility permit for Macocata Valley. They're just gonna bore an underground electrical service to the address of 21812 Rockdale Road. Typical with electric, it'll be minimum of 4 feet deep. They're just crossing the road. So I guess our department doesn't see any issue, so we recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Nin, second by Mike to approve Macocata Valley Electric Cooperative's utility permit request for boring underground crossing electrical services of 21812 Rockdale Road, Macocata Township, Section 7. Any other discussions? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Next up is for the truck number 2 for fiscal year 26. So a couple weeks ago, we awarded a bid for 1 pickup truck. It was determined since that proposal was stated only 1 to go out for a second one. So we have done that and received 2 bids again, 1 from Tills, 1 from Rotman's. Deary's again did not submit a bid. This time Tills Auto was actually the low for a 2026 Chevy Silverado. They're actually lower by $100 than their previous bid. So I guess it benefited our department by doing this. So that being said, I guess our department recommends approving
What was the bid amount?
their Tills Auto was $46,015. And then Rotman's for a GMC Sierra 1500 was $46,278.
Good.
So
I would make a motion to award the fiscal year 26 pickup truck number 2 to Tills as the amount presented.
Who would second that?
You said. Okay. We got a motion by Mike, second by Nin to award the FY 26 pickup truck number 2 bid of $46,015 to Tills as presented. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And last is a shared driveway agreement. So our Lamont shed shares a driveway with the adjacent property owner, Legacy Meats, and they are concreting their portion of their lot and their portion of the driveway, and would like to extend it further onto our county property because the way that whole area shapes, it drains towards drawing a blank on the road name, D55, the pavement there going from Lamont to Zwingle. It all drains towards the low point in that driveway, which there's an area drain. But on heavy rains, like we've been experiencing this summer, it creates a lot of gravel washouts. So property owner is wanting to extend concrete onto our county yard. Talked with the county attorney's office on it and the property owner. And again, thankfully with the county attorney's office help, they have prepared a driveway improvement and maintenance agreement, which basically states that We as the county will have no obligation, present or future, to contribute to the cost of the maintenance, repair, or replacement of the shared driveway. So basically, we're not, I mean, they're more verbiage, but essentially, we are not responsible for any of the concrete. We actually benefit from it honestly ourselves, our driveway. A large portion of our portion of the shared drive would be concrete, so at no cost to us. So county attorney's office drafted up this agreement. We mailed it to the property owner. They have signed and notarized it, agreeing to it, so similar as our first topic, given all that, our department recommends board chair signature on it, board approval and then board chair signature.
So just going back a little bit, we've been asked to share in participating in paving that in the past, and we have not. We really don't have any need for that on our side of it, so we decided would not participate in it, so that's how. We didn't want to spend any money on. I mean, we get a few washout once in a while, we have the equipment.
Yeah, we
Right.
have the equipment to, motor in our roads to regrade the lot.
And this is gonna be heavy enough though for our trucks to be
Yep,
driving over it routinely. I mean, I don't wanna see them spin it, whatever, and then it gets all busted up and it makes it.
well, that was one of the questions where what helped facilitate this agreement, because for that exact reason, and it is thick enough, and they have semi loads themselves coming in and out of there in their own lots, so. Hopefully that's part of what facilitated this, because we don't want to be liable if our equipment cracks it.
Right, or us down the road having. I make a motion to approve.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve the shared driveway agreement for the Lamont shed and authorize board chair to sign. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I can give a brief up, I don't have much on construction, but our fog seal that happened on Iron Bridge Road a month ago. The pavement markings are going to be applied today to it, so the cure time has happened and we are now ready for pavement markings, and then that project will be done.
Great.
Other than that, just waiting on Schrader to show up for our day laborers, which will be at Prairie Creek first, so. As soon as they're done Prairie Creek, they'll come our way, but.
And we're still reclaiming?
Yes, we actually have, thankfully, knock on wood, the weather seems to be in a good stretch here coming up, so we have 2 crews going. And they're working on, they just finished up, the east crew finished up 42nd Street and 366th Avenue last week. They are now working 300th Street south 64, and they're gonna continue working east or around the Preston area. Our north crew is on 370th. Probably butcher, I think it's 370th Street up by St. Denatus or St. Catherine, St. Denatus area. And then once they're done with that, they are gonna jump to 216th and start from the far west end, which is almost near 61, and go the 9 miles east to the end of 216th. So long stretch, but that's next on the list because that's the one that's been pushed back for a
That
couple of
was
years
on the
now.
first year.
Yes, so it'll get done. But, so yeah, they are rolling with the good weather.
Cool.
But, I mean, you're obviously notify the transportation department for the schools when you do that, where you're working afterwards.
I can.
Well,
they've started-
we've started in.
Now that-
I hear the drivers over there are kind of sensitive.
My west, the east half of that 216 is definitely every day, twice a day, so it's. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at,
Yeah.
because they should be notified that something's.
Now that school started, I would say.
Yeah.
I just, the only
A good
reason because
calendar.
of that, even if, they're working and it's passable, of course, but if it delays you by 5 minutes. Every parent and every child is up in arms that can happen, so.
Yeah, we can I will let the transportation directors know of those respective areas that we're in, or especially as it relates to 216, because that's a long stretch that probably shares 2 school districts. Most likely does it not. I'll verify, but that's. a long
The west
stretch.
half won't have any activity as far as.
Any other questions for Jay?
Oh, I just want to thank you both or all for stopping out last week at the.
Yeah. was impressive. It's good to see.
Yeah, I just wanna say too, I mean, they're quite a machine and I just hope that it holds up, of course, but what it can do is amazing. You know?
Well, I'd like to see the tandem with the Bobcat, with the shredder and the track hoe. You put those together and
Be able to make
we'll have interstates around this county.
You know, we certainly need to discuss more, you know, with landowners as far as keeping clearance back in the right of way. I mean, we talked about it before because honestly, visibility for animals is unbelievable, you know, and insurance companies are talking heavily, you know.
Yeah, our operators are out there, I mean, all Torpers was impressed with for being, all of our guys that were operating, never operating that type of attachment before. They were impressed and I couldn't have asked for it to go any better, so happy all the way around as far as.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, thank you. Lisa, you're up.
Good morning. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the August 19th, 2025 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspaper.
Second,
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to authorize and approve the minutes of the August 19, 2025 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the papers. Any other discussions? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Motion carries.
Need a motion to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the public, in the claims listing in the amount of $473,649.
So moved.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $473,649 as presented. And just note, there was the final payment to Stronghold for $114,000 in there. There were several disbursements from the budget towards particular entities like libraries and things.
Yep.
That was a yearly thing, and there's some rock in there, so that's kind of why they were what they were. But any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
You know that once a year we do a resolution to cancel any outstanding warrants that we have. So these checks were canceled. This person then redeemed those warrants. So I need a motion to approve and authorize signatures on a handwritten warrant to Johannes Pitlow for $154.44 to replace a canceled warrant for Veterans Affairs mileage.
Question on that. Was there expenses in canceling that stuff? Cause I know if you go to the bank and
There's an
cancel a
expense,
check,
there's an, well, of course,
canceling checks, I think that needs to be passed on, because if it was just, I didn't feel like cashing them until you cancel them, we don't need to eat that expense. I think that should be subtracted from the mileage.
there's every check that we write, there's an expense. That's why we're trying to get people. There are certain boards and commissions where people really should be paid by ACH and not by check.
I'm just saying, if I tried to cancel a check, let's say Wacokota State Bank or wherever,
We did not.
there's usually like a yeah, there's
So this-
usually like
yeah.
a 20-some, I think if we accrue fees because they just didn't cash a check, that they need to be subtracted from.
There's
the
not a
amount.
stab payment on,
Okay.
because we have warrants. So there is
So what's the time frame on this?
a year.
Okay, so
So even administratively, if they are just not doing it,
It's pretty amazing how many people don't cash.
Can
their
we go
check.
to a ACH policy?
Well, you know, like all of our paychecks are.
Yeah.
So that has transitioned over. Every time that we mail claims out, even with this 473,000, Mary is doing a very good job of including in those payments that we mail out, you know, a form so they can do ACH. And that's one of the problems that we have with a particular company that for phone service. That's why that is being paid. They will not allow us to pay them by ACH. It's a matter of if we push money or if we pull money. So ACH is where we push money. They want to be able to pull money and we don't allow that. We don't allow that. That is not.
So going forward, I remember when we put in place because of past,
Yeah.
individuals, whatever they are, got paid, never cashed a check. We put a policy in place. If it includes extra fees, I don't recall that we put that in there, but we probably have to change that policy if that's the case.
There is, yes, correct. We do have that. Usually we call it a year stale
Yeah.
date. And if they don't cash these checks, there's,
So my thought is that when they got this and it was canceled, it woke them up and said, oh, I forgot to cash that check. And then now.
I don't know how,
now
I don't know
we
what a
wanna-
check looks like that you've held for a year. You know?
The
So,
dog ate it.
you know, even
I
like,
guess it's in
even,
your billfold, I don't know.
there's an administrative fee if, you know, if you issue.
Go check and check.
Costs you for the check, it costs you
No,
to
but
rewrite the check, it costs time
Stamp the
and,
envelope, I mean.
to me, there should be like with the city, if you don't scoop your snow or you don't mow your grass, they issue somebody to go out and do it. And then they charge an administrative fee on top of whatever abatement covers. So it's like $50 administration fee. I think if we have to take extra time to cover something, that's not an unreasonable
No different.
kind of thing.
We need to talk, we need to adopt.
Yeah,
adopt a-
I think going forward, because.
This, I mean, I will tell you that, it's probably been 5 years ago now that I was in a meeting with a local bank. And they wondered why we didn't do more ACH. And I said, well, I don't, and they basically said that was 5 years ago. That every check that we write, it costs $5 or $10.
Yeah.
By the time you figure the cost of the check for everybody to process
It's
it
almost-
here,
Almost $1 to mail it.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
so you gotta buy the envelope, the checks are not, they're not cheap either. So at that point, 5 years ago, a check was costing $10.
well, and
So.
So if I remember right, also in our policy, when we stated that, if a vendor did not cash a check within a year, it was gone. Too
Well,
bad.
and we see, that's why we do that resolution where we cancel those checks out, so it kind of cleans our books up. What we did is said, you can't hold a bill from 5 years ago and then mail it to us.
Yeah,
So
that was
we-
part of our issue.
That's what we said, is that, we need to have that bill within a year of service. So, yeah,
This is something we need to look at, because.
Yeah.
So,
Where we
I
at with
mean,
it?
for this, I'd make a motion to proceed, but we definitely need to.
I would second.
got a motion by Nan, second by Mike, to approve and authorize signatures on a handwritten warrant to John Spitlow for the $154.44 to replace the canceled warrant for VA mileage. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
I know that we have received a request from ECIA to have the chair sign a letter of support. So today I'm asking for a motion to approve the chair signature on a letter of support for the Regional Transit Authority 8 or RTAA application to the National RTAP Community Rights Grant Program.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve chair signature on a letter of support for the Regional Transit Authority 8 RTA8 application to the National RTAP Community Rides Grant Program. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all.
Is there an official copy or you want me to just sign this one?
I've had a copy for you to read this on.
Okay.
On our stationery.
All right, anything else, Lisa?
That's it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Luann, you're up.
Good morning.
Morning.
Right, calendar this week is considerably shorter than last week's. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, August 27th at 7 p.m. is the Jackson County EMS Association meeting in Sebula, at Sebula City Hall, I believe, for any of you that want to attend that. Thursday, the 28th at 10 a.m. is an RPA meeting in Dubuque or by Zoom for Don and Nin. And it's usually a much later meeting, so it's a much earlier meeting. So this time it's at 10 o'clock. Also Thursday at 5:30 is a HACAP meeting by Zoom for Mike. Friday, August 29th, I am planning to be out of the office that day. Monday, September 1st is Labor Day and the courthouse will be closed that day. And our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, September 2nd at 9 a.m. That's all I had for you.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Boards and commissions. Everybody got anything?
I met with early childhood. They're basically just kind of getting their new year started and up and going with kind of the whole. They didn't know for sure if they would even be up and going with the whole new state proposal, but they're out there they're thinking at least one more year. They are down some on the preschool scholarship applications, so. They actually only have 4 spots, and normally we have a lot more than that, so that's kind of a sad deal, but the state has also changed kind of how it has to be done, so. Just wanting to get it out there that there is a chance for some scholarships for the 3-year-old preschools. But other than that, they're kind of moving forward with funding a lot of early childhood events.
Workforce development, we've officially, Mississippi Valley Workforce Development Board has officially merged with the South Central Iowa Workforce Development. So that has officially was approved by the state. We submitted our request and they approved it. So that's what's going on there for the most part. Limestone Bluffs, Michelle's noticed that a lot of the grants and stuff she's been working on trying to get for people has started drying up a little bit. There's a lot more denials coming down the pipe, so she's working the best she can. She's doing a lot with the muster and Makokata, and a lot of different things. So she's got a lot of programs going, but she's noticed quite a bit that a lot more no's coming down the pipe in the money funnel. So that's all I got.
We started meeting yesterday, there was a little frustration with the ongoing process of how much time it takes. For insurance companies to make a decision and to move forward, so. They did pay us for the loader, they pay us for Skidler, we approved a contract we had. There's 3 bids for the loader. We approved one of those bids and we had 7 bids for the skid steer. And we approved one of those bids that was locally, so. Moving forward, materials ordered. Can I give you a time frame?
That's the one question I get all the
Again-
time. Any idea when you can
Again, there
open?
was some frustration showed. And I said, personally, I would just like to see some action. If the steel is off of the building and it's bare bone and the electrical is done or something, let's move forward, but it's a case where the insurance company has to approve it and you gotta get the check before you can move forward or you can't pay anybody, so. Frustration lies there with all of us, so you've got families with children that are laid off and whatnot, they're wanting to come back, so. There we sit. We talked about fire suppression and we're gonna, again, it's not a heated building, so it's very costly. So we'll check into it anyway.
Anything else? The only thing we got left is a work session to talk about the drug-free community grant, so. I don't think we have anything else for the good of the meeting.
No further business, I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'd second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to adjourn. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.